Welcome to the iRonik show clips. To get deep insights in quick time, subscribe to the channel now. When we talk about tantra in some of the episodes, even last year we did a podcast around Dashera where Dr. Vinita Agarwal joined us, and we spoke literally. I mean, we touched upon the topic of Das Mahavidya and have been hearing it for the longest of time. Das Mahavidyas and the associated tantra practices. So I would really request if you can just highlight the importance of Das Mahavidyas and the tantra practices related to the forms.
Do you want me to go into a little bit of the backstory of the Dasha
Yes, please,
Mahavidya?
please.
Okay. So it is the story goes that this goes back to Sati and Shiva, where Sati is a very self-made kind of personality. She is veritably Shakti, in her whole form and sense. And she will not take nonsense from anyone, even if it is Shiva himself. And here we only make a difference between Shiva and Shakti, even though we know that, they're one. Okay, Shiva Shakti Aika Rupini. Okay, so she is Eka Rupini of Shiva and Shakti. But we make the difference because we need to point out many things. And this is how our rishis saw it, that why Dasha Mahavidyas? Because they wanted people to understand the various things that a woman can stand for and what are
Okay.
all the lessons we can take away from the different situations a woman finds herself in. So the backstory to the Dasha Mahavidyas is that Sati is her father is Daksha, who's a very
Hmm.
powerful ruler. And he has this yajna where he refuses to invite Shiva because Sati marries Shiva against Daksha's wishes.
Will. Yeah.
So he refuses to invite Shiva, and Sati is very angry that her husband is being ignored. And she tells Shiva that I am going to go for this yajna. So Shiva says, no, don't go because anyway, it's going to not give him any results. So don't waste your time. So she gets very angry. She says, how can you question me? She asks the husband. And this is when her Ugra form comes up. And for a moment, Shiva is blindsided. And when he opens his eyes, he sees that he's, surrounded by 10 different manifestations of Sati. And in all the cardinal directions and over and below, above and below. So that's the 10, right?
Okay.
So north, south, east, west, then northeast, southwest. So 8 cardinal directions above and below. So all 10 directions, he is surrounded by these various manifestations of Sati. And they form the Dasha Mahavidya. So each time he looks at another one, there is something to be learned from their life story, from their iconography. And the first one on this list, from whom all the others emerge, is Kali. Kali is the most Ugra iconography that you can ever find because she is seen naked, dancing literally on Shiva, okay, with her tongue out, and she's wearing a garland of 50 skulls. So and wearing a tiger skin for a skirt. So if you look at the iconography, it is very, very fierce. But what is it trying to say? Here, I don't want to talk about all the general things that people
Yeah.
mention during Dasha Mahavidyas, just to point out one or two things about each one of the Devis. So, for example, Kali, right? Kali means so many things. It could mean death, she could mean darkness, she could mean everything. But for me, in my little understanding, when pralaya happens, so we let's go into this a little more. There are 5 parts of creation. We all know Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is creation, preservation, and dissolution. We don't know the other two, which are Tirodhana and Anugraha. Tirodhana means once creation is completed, the higher intelligence brings about a veil, which is that of Maya, to make us not be able to reach the universal intelligence very easily.
Could you please explain that
So
again?
Tirodhana is
Uh-huh.
basically the fourth aspect of creation, where now creation has happened. But
Mm-hmm.
the higher intelligence brings out a veil, like something covering the whole of creation
Okay.
in the form of Maya. So,
Okay.
Maya, in a way, is avidya. It is
Right.
the lack of knowledge. It's not even lack, it's just that we don't have the knowledge that everything is
Hmm.
the universal intelligence itself. So,
Hmm.
when do you understand that? How do you lift this veil? Through sadhana, through japa, through practice, through meditation. When you get the anugraha of the universal intelligence, which is the fifth part, which is called anugraha effectively. So then you go to Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Tirodhana, and then Anugraha, right? So then it completes the picture. Now,
Okay.
at Pralaya, it is said that Shiva swallows the entire universe. That's when Pralaya happens, right? So that's the dissolution part. But if Shiva swallows the universe, we still have Shiva. We still have that one aspect, right, of Purusha, because he is seen as Purusha. It is when Kali consumes Shiva
Okay.
that this entire process of Pralaya is complete. So
Okay.
Kali literally has to consume Shiva, who has completed consuming the universe, that we come to the end of creation itself. So that is her larger role in life, in a manner of speaking. So I don't know if I've been able to make
Yes.
myself
Yes.
clear, because
Yes. 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 Yes.
it's a
Crystal clear now.
complex concept
Right.
to wrap our heads around.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the power of Kali, because you have Purusha and you have Prakriti, right? Purusha is the Shiva aspect,
Hmm.
Prakriti is the Shakti aspect.
Practice.
So Purusha, so it said in Lalita Sahasranama also, Mahagrasa Mahashana, which means that first she has the ability to consume everything and then swallow it. That's when creation is complete, by the process of pralaya, by dissolution, so that the next process of creation can start. So that is the beauty of Kali.
So let's talk about the Dash
Okay.
Mahavidyas a
So
bit
we
more.
started with Kali. The second
Yeah.
one is Tara.
Huh.
Tara is like a star. She's the ever combusting star. So she's constant. You know that every star in this universe is
Hmm.
forever in a state of flux.
Hmm.
Okay, it's giving out gases, it's dying, then new stars are born. So Tara is like that. And what Tara is a slightly less fierce version of Kali. And then the third form that we have is Lalita Tripura Sundari. So each of these devis have their own vidyas, right? So
Okay.
the vidya which Lalita Tripura Sundari represents is called Shri Vidya. So that is what I practice. This is what
Okay.
is now becoming very popular. It
Mm-hmm.
is in a way a Gupta Paddhati. Okay, in the sense it's a Rahasya Paddhati.
Hmm.
We don't talk about it too much because it's only select people who practice it, and then they
Right.
don't really want to put it out there that they're practitioners, because that's the way spiritual practice has to be in any case.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Lalita Tripura Sundari is the first Saumya goddess that you encounter in the Dasha Mahavidyas. Now, Lalita means the one who plays.
Hmm.
Okay, so very playfully, she will take you through this journey called life. And we see her in three forms. We see her as Bala Tripura Sundari, where she's this small girl, from the ages of between 8 and 16, where she's playful and she's growing into a beauty. And so when we initiate someone into Sri Vidya, it is with the Bala Tripura Sundari mantra, so that, people can discover the beauty of life. And then we show them the form of Lalita Tripura Sundari, in her adulthood, as a mother, as a wife, as a woman of the world. And then finally, we reach Tripura Bhairavi. So, this is not the Bhairavi that we are talking of in the Dasha Mahavidyas,
Hmm.
but within Lalita itself, there are three
Okay.
different aspects. So sometimes the names are the same, so there is
Right.
bound to be confusion. So Tripura Bhairavi sets in when, a woman is no longer fertile, and, she's probably in her 50s, and, she's going through her own struggles with life and all of that. So we see Lalita in that light. Now, Tripura Sundari is very important as a term because Tripura means the three cities. Now, what do these three cities refer to? The three cities are that of past, present, and future, the most simple ones. Or you could say time, space, causality.
Hmm.
Or you could say waking, sleeping, dreaming. So, all of these different triads that we see in Hinduism, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. There are so many. So, she is the empress of all these triads.
Vinita ji, just if I may just request you, if you can please quickly cover the 10 Mahavidyas, then come back to Lalita Tripura Sundari and discuss it in detail.
So then, after Lalita Tripura Sundari, we come to Bhuvaneshwari, who is literally Mother Earth itself.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what does she teach us? She teaches us about the need to be one with the planet and to be empathetic to everything that exists, plants, trees. It's like in Sanatana, we value and respect everything. Even if by chance our foot touches something, we seek forgiveness from
Right.
it. So that's Bhuvaneshwari for you. Then after that, we come to Chinnamasta. Chinnamasta is a very interesting female form because here you see how sacrificing a woman can be. Because it's like she's gone out on this picnic with her friends, as it is told in the Puranas, and her friends are constantly saying, we are hungry, give us something to eat. And at one point, when she cannot take it anymore, she decapitates herself and feeds them the blood. I know it's a very gory iconography, but it shows to what extent a woman can go in terms of sacrificing for people around her, right? And there are three fountains which come out, which
Yeah.
literally show the Ida, Pingala, and the Sushumna. And she is consuming her own blood also, which means
Right.
there is the scope for revival and rebirth. Okay. So
So
then,
just I will just stop you here. So I am born and brought up in Jharkhand, right?
okay. Hmm.
So just near Ranchi. So I'm
Hmm.
from a place called Devghar, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlings,
Okay.
Baidyanath Dham. Right. So
Okay.
just near Ranchi, which is the capital of Jharkhand,
Hmm.
there is a place called Chinnamastika Mandir,
Okay.
and it is considered. Unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to go there, but
Hmm.
it is considered to be one of the most energy filled and most sacred
Hmm.
feminine temple of Ma Chinnamastika.
Okay.
Yeah, please carry on.
Okay. So then, after Chinnamasta comes Bhairavi. Now, again, another very fierce form. So, if you look at, okay, let's finish all this and then we can come
Hmm,
back to,
hmm.
dissecting them.
Right.
Then, after Bhairavi comes Dhumavati. Now, Dhumavati again is neither Ugra nor Saumya, somewhere in between, but she shows us a side of a woman who, when, she's widowed, when she's older, when she's wrinkled, when she's lost her beauty, then what happens to her?
Right.
How does society treat her? So the Tantra had something to say about that. So then we had Dhumavati. Then after that comes Bagalamukhi. So Bagalamukhi is also another very interesting and fierce goddess, where she's shown as holding the tongue of one of the asuras, and then she's also ready to kill him. So after Bagalamukhi comes Matangi. Okay, so Matangi, very interesting story where we can go into Uchishta Matangi. See, in a way, with Tantra and particularly with the Dasha Mahavidyas, I think what they were trying to do was to show that there is nothing which is polluted, there is nothing which is wrong, there is nothing, whatever at that time was taboo, they were trying to say, no, it's all okay, it's all Shakti. And then, which brings us to the last one, which is Kamalatmika, which is again a Saumya form. She is like the tantric version of Lakshmi. So these are the 10. I think I've not missed any. I've covered all of them, all the 10.
Yeah. If you like this clip, check out our other clips and never stop learning.